Hello, Adab, Namaste. Today we're in Noida and we're here to meet not just one but 5 co-founders of Insurance Samadhan. It's a very interesting and innovative business idea where they're helping people who have claim gets rejected. So if you're also one of them and want to know what Samadhan or what solution you can have, come let's meet the co-founders. Hi everyone.
Hi.
So how are you guys doing?
Good.
Okay, first up I wanted to ask you guys, Gurgaon is the hub for all the startups. Why are you guys in Noida?
So I think two reasons. One, obviously commercially it makes economical sense. And second, it's the proximity is great. This is like just a few meters away from the metro station. So it helps all our employees to reach safer and faster.
So when you say economical sense, what do you exactly mean by that?
So if you see rentals, the cost of operation is much lower in Noida than Gurgaon.
Interesting, and I think this should be something which all the co-founders should also keep in mind. Other entrepreneurs should also keep in mind that
Yes.
there are other options apart from Gurgaon.
Also, if you see the infrastructure-wise, Noida is much better, far wider than Gurgaon.
That's very interesting. So I know that you guys are 5 co-founders.
Yes.
So could you introduce all of you and the other 2 also who are not present here?
So we'll start with the lady, then Ravi, then I'll introduce to the
I'm
rest.
Shilpa Arora. I handle the operations and the chief operating officer and co-founder here.
So, myself Ravi Mathur, I am the co-founder and chief technical officer.
I'm Deepak Bhuvneshwar Unyal, co-founder and CEO of the company. We have 2 other co-founders. Shailesh is a veteran from the industry. He's a co-founder and insurance head. And the 5th one is Sanjay Agarwal, who's a lawyer and takes care of the legal space.
That's very interesting. So I'm going to take all of you and we're going to have deep conversations about how you're solving the different issues and how the company basically runs. So let's go. So Deepak, that's an interesting concept that you have. Can you explain a little more about Insurance Samadhan?
Sure. So Insurance Samadhan is a tech platform. We resolve insurance complaints like mis-selling, claim rejections, short settlement in life, health and general insurance. And it's been almost 5.5 years we've been around. We've solved more than 16,000 complaints, got over 110 crores in customers' account. As we speak, we have almost 9,600 complaints in various buckets and the total complaint size is 180 crores.
All right. So basically what you're doing is, suppose I file for an insurance and my claim got rejected. So you can help us.
Yes, so first is if your claim got rejected, rejection is also of 2 kinds. One is your claim got rejected 100%, we can assist you. Second is your claim got rejected, short settled, which means you did not get the complete claim. There also we can assist you.
Okay. And I think this is one problem that a lot of us face or have faced at certain point of time, that a certain loved one is in the hospital and we have an insurance policy and we're like, okay, yeah, fine. So we have a back.
Yes.
But then when the bill comes in, we end up paying something from our pocket.
Yes.
It always happens.
Yes.
And the hospital will say, no, this is not covered, this is not covered.
Yes.
In fact, I've seen that even the diet of the patient is not covered sometimes
Yes.
in insurance policy.
So see, there are certain parameters, certain things which are not covered. But having said that, that will be contributing to maximum 5 to 10% of the total bill. But when it is beyond that, then obviously we can have a look at it and assist you.
Okay. So how did you come across this idea?
So very interesting. So we are 5 co-founders. 3 of us come from insurance domain. When we were working in our respective jobs, we would experience, so we were part of a company called Max Life Insurance and the office was in Connaught Place. CP is a commercial hub. So a lot of aggrieved customers used to walk into our office and meet us that, there's a complaint and we would assist them. And that became way of life. In 2014, very interesting event happened. A very senior Delhi police officer, he reached out to us and he said his father, who was a senior citizen that time, was missold 42 insurance policies over a period of 6 years and total premium involved was 38 lakh rupees. And this elderly gentleman was assuming that he is buying fixed deposits every year for his grandkids. Till the day he got to know that these were all fake promises, and it was not a FD, it was insurance policy. He had a heart attack and he could not survive.
Oh my God.
And then the gentleman who came to us, he was not in the right frame of mind, and he tried his best, but he could not get the money. So we started assisting him. Within a 5.5 months period, we got his entire 38 lakh rupees back. That is a trigger point for us. We can understand, a competent police officer is not able to articulate his complaint, then it is difficult for anybody else. So we decided in 2014 that we will start something around it. And then 2017, Shailesh, one of our co-founders, he retired from the job. And then we launched Insurance Samadhan on 15th August 2018. And we chose this date specifically because of the reason that our focus was, vision was that we wanted to get people out of this pain. So that's how it started.
So that's interesting. So what kind of policy holders can you help? Is it just probably health insurance?
No, so you may have a life insurance and you feel that you've been missold, or God forbid there's a death in the family and you did not get the insurance cover. We can assist there. Or health insurance, wherein a claim has got rejected or short settled. Then general insurance, which can be fire, motor, marine, loss of profit. So anything and everything to do with insurance, travel insurance, we do crop insurance. So we assist you in any kind of insurance complaints.
So how do you help in crop insurance? That's a very interesting term that I just heard.
Yes. So farmers, when they get their crop insured, and something goes wrong, natural calamity, and they don't get their claims, so we assist them in getting their claims as well.
That's interesting. Have you helped any farmers till date?
Yes. From a farmer to a CXO of an insurance company to a director of a PSU. So you may come from any walk of life. Insurance is a very complex product, and if I may say, very boring product as well. So people don't get into the details. They assume that they bought the policy and claim will come by. But the issue is how to articulate, how to represent that complaint is the bigger issue. So complainant or maybe the policy holder doesn't know how to represent my complaint, and that's where we pitch in and assist.
So in a country like India, people are, I think, a little hesitant towards buying a policy itself. For life insurance, I think they would have this thing, okay, if I die, then my family would get some amount. But for health insurance, still people are very, very jittery about it.
Yes.
Because, of course, there's this misconception that even after a health policy, we would have to pay something from our pocket.
Yes.
So how do you help in a country like ours, where there's a lot of confusion and misconception around insurance itself, and then you're actually dealing with something which is like after you bought the insurance policy and whatever problems you're dealing with?
So see, first of all, I would suggest that insurance is a must. Insurance is a basic for any human being globally. COVID has proved that people who had insurance policies, though not every claim was paid, obviously because of different reasons, but people who had insurance policies still could take care of their expenses. So insurance policy is a must. There's a misconception that I have bought a policy, I may not get the claim. As I said, the problem is not getting the claim. How do you represent that complaint? That's how to file the claim is very important. The penetration in our country is very, very low. A regulator is pushing a lot, doing a fabulous job. The penetration is increasing. So I think it's all about awareness, why insurance is important. And then that moment of truth, when your claim has come by, then that's how your confidence goes high. So I think we need to talk to more people who have got the claim and share their experiences. That's the initiative maybe the industry can take. But if you ask us, there are people who get the claim, and when they come to us who don't, and when they get a claim, they feel very, very happy, and then their trust in ecosystem goes back. Then these people trust that if the claim is represented in the right way, I can get the claim.
You were talking about a lot of aggrieved customers also. So do you have names of companies which are probably better at handling such issues, or companies where you would say, okay, let's not buy insurance from them? Can you name them?
See, to be very honest, that would not be right, because it's harming a brand. But if you generally ask me, every insurance company, you pick up any insurance company in India, they the brand supporting them is very, very strong. The foreign brand supporting them is very, very strong. It is, as I said, it is not about the intent is wrong. Insurance companies want to pay the claim. See, what is the job of insurance company? To pay the claim and the maturity of the policy. That's what they promise, and that's what they do forever. They've been doing this. It's a communication gap. It's a communication gap from the policyholder's perspective, that how do I go and file that claim? If my claim has got rejected, how do I represent my claim? So that's why if you ask us, we work pan-India with all 54 insurance companies. We haven't seen that, one insurance company is good or one is bad. If they understand that the representation is right, they do give the claim. And if they don't give the claim, then there's a process laid down by the regulator. Regulator has laid down a fabulous process wherein you can go and complain to the regulator if company is not paying. If the problem is not solved at that level, you can go to ombudsman. Ombudsman does a fabulous job. And if your complaint is not being solved at ombudsman level, then there's a consumer court. Obviously, it does take a time. But believe me, our 5.5 years experiences, if the complaint is genuine and is represented in a right way, you're bound to get your claim.
That's interesting. So, any tips for consumers how to make the best use of their policies?
First of all, my strong recommendation is everybody has to understand. So, if you see, we all were taught Maslow's theory in our school. In that, basic fundamental requirement of every human being is food, shelter, and clothes. I would say this is an extension of that. You should have to cover these three aspects, fundamental aspect. You need to have insurance. So life insurance is very, very important. Everybody should have at least 10x of life insurance of their income. So if I make 10 lakh rupees a year, my insurance should be 1 crore. If not 1 crore, at least I should try and see whatever best I can buy. When it comes to health insurance, you should have a substantial health insurance. Depending on the city you are living, if you're in, maybe metro cities, it should be higher. If you're in a smaller town, it can be a little lower. And third, your home insurance. So first of all, that belief in insurance is very important. And once this pool size increases, currently if you see a penetration is not even 5-6% in our country. When almost sizable amount, like say 20-25% people in our country buy insurance, that pool will be very, very healthy. And then this claim issue will further curtail down. Because companies would have enough and healthy, lives to insure, and then if there's a claim, the pool can easily pay that claim.
Also, we have an understanding that this is how an insurance company works, how they make their own turnover and how they make their own incomes. How do you manage your incomes?
Great. So we are purely success fee based. We only charge if you have got money in your account. So I would rather say we take pride in sharing that shows the confidence we have in our work, and the intent is very correct to assist the customer. So we charge once the money goes in your account. We charge 12% success fee. Globally, this fee is as high as 35%. Okay. And in a country like Singapore, they charge between 20 to 25%.
So Deepak, you've also been profiled on Shark Tank. How was that experience, and did you get the funding?
So Shark Tank was, I would say, I always say this, that it was an orbit-changing situation for us. Like one of our biggest struggle is that we are a very niche player. In fact, we're the only tech platform doing this in entire Asia. So people actually don't know that these services also exist and they can reach out to us. Right. So Shark Tank partially solved that for us. We grew almost 6x in next 2 months after seeing Shark Tank. We came at 9:40 on 25th January. 9:40 p.m. and 9:42 p.m. we started getting a call. You'll be surprised to know none of us saw Shark Tank that day because all of us were busy on calls. The last call was received by me at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Next day was 26th January. Obviously, it was officially it was off, but all of us unofficially were taking phone calls on our phones. And since then, our call center didn't stop buzzing. A good part was it was not only a commercial success. We got calls from people who just called us to bless. I got a call from this old couple from Switzerland, and they said, we just saw you on Shark Tank and we just wanted to bless you because we've experienced this in India and we're very happy somebody is doing this. We got calls from government officers, can't name them, that so glad to see somebody doing this. So more was so much of love and affection and blessing from all over the country and outside that somebody has taken this initiative and is assisting the aggrieved party. So I think that was really, really overwhelming for us.
So when is it that you feel, okay, that we've accomplished something, or all right, we've achieved something, or we've reached the level where we wanted to reach?
So to be very honest, it's a very, very mammoth problem, and we have not even touched a tip of the iceberg. But having said that, every time we solve a complaint and we get a customer testimonial, believe me, we get goosebumps hearing some. I'm still getting goosebumps because some of them are so amazing. Elderly person getting duped, and family has thrown out. Yes, he's been discarded by the family because he was trapped, and then we assisted him, and family accepted him back. So these are a lady who lost her husband is left with 2-year-old son. Claim got rejected, death claim. Within 3-4 months, she gets sick claim, and then she calls and says that you people are like God to us. You get goosebumps hearing those stories. So every time we solve this, it's it's very fulfilling, it's very overwhelming, but a lot to do.
So we'll talk about any accomplishments, any certifications which probably tell us that you're on the right path.
So the fact that we're part of Startup India initiative, we have got a certification endorsement, I would say, which is Section 80 AIC. It's a very, very special endorsement given to less than 0.5% startup who create a social impact in the society. So I think again a great endorsement, I would say. Also during the COVID time, we were covered by most of the mainstream channels for the kind of work we were doing. Sitting home. Using technology, we were able to get claims of people who are in the hospital and the claim got rejected. So these news created a buzz, and that's how people, the media recognized us. Yeah.
That's interesting. Any obstacle that you faced on your path?
So one constantly, like I said, is how we tell the country that something like this exists. So one is that you raise a lot of funds, you burn a lot of money. We don't believe in that thought process. So we constantly try and make an effort to reach out to people through our customer testimonials. Our customers become brand ambassadors. There are a lot of our customers who in their society and neighborhood area go and tell people that if you have any issue, Insurance Samadhan is there. So that is one, I would say, obstacle which is going to be there till the whole country gets to know that something like this exists.
That's interesting. You also spoke about Startup India and being a part of it. Would you like to tell aspiring entrepreneurs how to go about starting their own enterprise?
First, I think you must register yourself in Startup India. Government is doing a fabulous job. There's so much there that whatever you want to start, you'll find a space for yourself. There are people who mentor via Startup India. Government is giving fundings. You must try and out. Then if you're solving a genuine problem, rest everything is a cascading effect. I would suggest that anybody who wants to start something, budding entrepreneurs, focus on solving a problem and not looking at how do you scale up, how do you make money. If the problem is genuine, you're solving in the right way, execution is great, you have a great team, rest everything follows.
And how can somebody get funding for the business idea? Somebody can only start with as much capital as they have.
Yes. So good news is that India has become the center of attraction, center of startups. The whole world is looking at India. So there's enough money from a small angel funding to incubation centers who can incubate your startup. Then from a VC, a large VC, government, everybody is supporting. So as I said, if you are a sorted founder, your intent is right, your execution capabilities are good, you have a great team, then all this is a cakewalk.
So what's your turnover like?
So we register almost 15 to 18 crores worth of complaints every month, and we resolve close to 5 crores every month. So we make around 60 lakh rupees a month.
60 lakh a month. Yeah. That's commendable, and with the kind of work you're doing, I think it's very, very interesting. And I want to have more understanding of how you guys work and manage day in and day out. And I'll head to Shilpa, who's going to explain to us how the operations work around.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. So we are going on to meet Shilpa Arora, who handles operations at Insurance Samadhan. Hi Shilpa.
Hi.
So that's a nice greenish office that you have.
Thank you so much.
So how do you go about your daily grind, and how does a day look like at Insurance Samadhan?
Okay, so primarily we get complaints from the customers. So we get about 1,000 to 1,500 calls or customer puts leads in the website to which our telecallers call and understand the grievances. So, we have those telecallers, about 17 of them, who calls the customers and understand the complaint, whether it is genuine or not, and and then this lead moves to the experts where the filtration happens. By filtration, I mean there are various parameters by which we identify whether the complaint is genuine or not. Okay. So at Insurance Samadhan, we only take genuine complaints, which we feel that is correct. So, once the system identifies that the complaint is genuine, then the complaint moves to the mailing team. So, mailing team is primarily the team who understands the complaint, and they help draft the complaint letter for the company. They follow up with the customers on sending the mail to the grievance officer of the company, and once the response comes, then they help redraft the response and then accordingly help in the resolution. So if the complaint is resolved at the company level, then great, we charge a success fee of 15% plus GST. If not, then the complaint moves to the ombudsman. So ombudsman is a body who helps in the resolution of the grievances. So at the ombudsman level also there is a process where documentation is required. Right. So our system autofills the documents that is required for the ombudsman. The complaint form is drafted. It is sent across to the customer through our app Polyfix. The customer then sends it to the ombudsman office. Once the form is received at the ombudsman office, they send a form 6A. Again, this form has to be filled again, which our system does, and resends it to the customers. Customer again sends this forms to the ombudsman office, and after that the hearing date comes. So it's a long process which we handhold the customer in the journey. So once the hearing date is received, then our expert connect with the customer and tells them the brief points to be discussed in front of the ombudsman.
Right, because at ombudsman, the consumer has to represent the case,
yes,
right?
So he goes and he has 5 to 10 minutes, generally online or offline option. Right. From the company side, there is a senior executive or a legal person who represents the company, and from the customer side, the customer has to represent. Right. So we need to strengthen the customer in terms of telling him what exactly he has to say in those 5 minutes. No emotions, just the facts of the case. So once he presents the facts of the case, then the ombudsman can give the order in the favor of the customer. So in our case, we get 80% resolution at the ombudsman level. So that's very good response that we are getting from the ombudsman. So
suppose if a case is very genuine and even at the ombudsman level, it's not solved, what can a consumer do?
Then we move it to the consumer court. Again, here we take the consent of the customer. If he is interested to move to the consumer court, then we connect him to the lawyers, and then the case is taken to the consumer court. But then we have very less, about 5% maybe. 80% of the cases get resolved at the company and the ombudsman level.
And suppose you receive a very panicked call that my husband's in the
every day.
My husband's in the hospital, or somebody is in the hospital, and the hospital's just rejected my claim. Yeah. I was banking upon it. So immediately, what resolution do you suggest to your consumers?
So at the hospital level, we cannot do anything because that is a cashless rejection.
Right.
So once the cashless rejection is there, we ask the customer to file a reimbursement. So we also have reimbursement developed in our app, which is a simple process. He can just on the app only fill the form, take a printout and submit it to the insurance company. Okay. Now the insurance company takes about 30 days to finally reject the claim. So if the rejection happens now, then we will take up the case if it is genuine. If not, then we will tell the customer that the company is right. This reimbursement form which is there in the app is very simple. We have seen that many people commit a lot of mistake while submitting the reimbursement form. Right. Some documents they don't attach. So this app will tell you exactly how to fill the form and also all the mandatory documents required so that the claim does not get rejected. So that's also inbuilt here.
You have spoken extensively about cases being genuine. And I've also heard cases of consumers trying to dupe insurance companies.
Yes.
How do you figure out that this one is actually a genuine case and not a dupe?
So based on our 5-year experience, we have developed various parameters in health, life, and general, where our system is able to identify whether the case is genuine or not.
Right.
So this is the experience of so many.
That's very interesting, and thank you so much for the insights. I think this would be a very good idea for any consumer who's probably got the insurance policies and they're stuck somewhere and the claim has gotten rejected. They can contact them and have the case solved through them. Thank you.
Thank you
and
so
we'll
much.
move on to the next aspect of Insurance Samadhan, which is the tech aspect. Let's go meet them. So we are going to meet Ravi Mathur from Insurance Samadhan, the third co-founder who handles the tech aspects of it. Come, let's meet him. Hi Ravi, sorry to disturb you.
Hi.
So at India's Business Legends, we want to ask you about how you're handling the tech aspect of Insurance Samadhan.
So tech is the backbone of Insurance Samadhan, if I have to put it in simple words. So everything that we do, we have taken a tech first approach from day one. And it is like an important part of how we have scaled through these 5 years. So the process is very simple. From the point the customer starts interacting with us, we start using technology from that point onwards until the time he is with us. When he comes to our, so there are different ways whereby he can interact with us, whether it's an IBR call that he makes, whether it's a chatbot that he interacts with, or maybe he directly comes to our website and he starts filling out a form. Tech is the part of his journey from the first point onwards. After that, once a complaint comes to us, the filtration process that starts executing is also based on some algorithms that we have developed in-house, which takes around like 100-120 parameters right now. And on the basis of those parameters, we decide whether we are going to go ahead with the complaint or not. Once the complaint is accepted by us, then also like we create pre-drafted letters and everything, which has been like built by tech only. And now we are developing a system whereby we predict whether what is the percentage accuracy of your claim going through. What is like if there is something that we figure out in your insurance policy, there are algorithms which dissects your insurance policy, understand your background, and then lets you know that this is what is written inside your insurance policy.
And that's what tech is doing.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is you just need to like download our app, upload your insurance policy PDF. If you do not have a PDF, you can just click photographs of your insurance policy and upload it into our app. Our system will try and understand and will let you know in very easy layman terms what is inside your policy. Let me give you an example. For example, in your policy, if it has not been mentioned that you do not have any pre-existing disease, or maybe you're a smoker, but in your insurance policy, it is not written that you're a smoker. And it may happen for various reasons, like you may not have told, or the person who is supposed to write that thing is not like
the agent precisely.
Maybe. So our system will, our app will tell you very clearly that it has not been mentioned. The moment you tell our app, or like there are simple toggle buttons on our app, the moment you toggle a button saying that this information is not correct, so we take that as a discrepancy. We inform you what are like what is going to be the fallback of like this thing not being correct. And there is there are certain parameters with which we tell the health of your policy, the information which is like in discrepancy right now. If it is critical, then we tell that it is 100% sure that tomorrow your claim is not going to get through. Okay. If there is something which is like a very trivial form of information which might not impact your claim, we tell that your policy is like healthy enough. There are some tweaks that you need to do, but still your claim will not be rejected, but you need to still fix this thing. Now, on the basis of that, once we tell the customer that there is some issue with the policy, then we also help him communicate with the insurance company. We have those pre-drafted mails and emails which all the information filled out, and the customer just need to press a button, give his consent, and the information goes to the insurance company. At every point of time, we tell the customer very clearly that this may lead to a spike in your premium, or maybe cancellation of your policy as a whole, but it is imperative that you fix this, because without this, your claim is not going to get through. That's very sure.
Right. So we also hear a lot about AI and ML.
Right.
How are you using AI and ML?
So all the engine that I told you, all the function that I was telling you, that the information that the system gets, and like then the system predicts whether it is going to, like, the claim is going to get through or it is not going to get through, and what is the percentage probability of this thing. And maybe if the system has encountered a case like this in the past, then the system predicts, okay, this is what we have encountered in the past, and this was the response from the insurance company, and this is how this pans out. So the system will have some sort of an information or some sort of predictability that this is how exactly it is going to pan out. All of this, and like all of our 16,000 cases, more than 60,000 cases that we have resolved till date, all of this we are using as a data set to predict the outcome, like, and like the probability of your claim going through in the future, and maybe optimizing our user experience at every point of time. Now, I will just give you a single data point. When we featured into Shark Tank, our team has only grown by 2x in terms of human capital that we invest. We have grown more than 8x in terms of the business that we do, and we are constantly growing with the same human capital because the system is able to predict and analyze and do this stuff. And that is how tech is like playing an integral part in the scaling of Insurance Samadhan, and like user experience is at the forefront. But apart from user experience, also how the information is being managed, data security and everything, tech is like at everywhere, and it is like at the core of Insurance Samadhan.
That's interesting. Also, I've come to know that you were an employee here. When did you start working here, and how did you grow into becoming a part of the founding team?
Yeah, that's correct. So I've been one of the rare cases whereby like a person who was not a co-founder was made a co-founder. So I joined them in 2019. I was a CTO at that point of time, and the nature, if I attribute it to myself, like I always take ownership of the things that I do. And like after working for like close to 2 years, we were raising our pre-series around. Then maybe the other founders felt that I am like contributing enough to be classified as a founder. But this is just a title. The working methodology or the like ethics and the everything, or like how I plan my day, how I do stuff, how I take ownership has remained same throughout. And it is constantly up to an individual how he sees something. It is like most of the people, what they do is like they wait for a title to be given to them, then they start performing that way. I just do it on the flip side. I tried performing like this, and maybe someday or the other people might recognize. If they recognize, okay. Even if they don't do, I have to do this thing over and over again. Someday it will come.
That's actually very, very interesting. So what are the perks of becoming a co-founder vis-a-vis being an employee? How has life changed?
Life hasn't changed as a whole. Perks though I would not say, but yeah, I like being put into a spot, and like when everybody looks towards you, I rather take it as a privilege that people think that I can make a difference to something. Look, when I was an employee also, the mindset was the same, that I had to make something happen. I had to, I have a solution approach mind, that I have to like fix things. And that hasn't changed. I still like to get my hands dirty at the execution level also. If something is my team is struggling with, I will be the first one to put my hand up and say, okay, let's try things out. And I think that has remained the same. Perks, I would say, maybe you, not entirely, but all of this, what you are saying, the title that has come to me is just like a part and parcel of doing my job really well, and that has been the aspect. Maybe if I keep doing that thing over and over again well, I can maintain the discipline and everything. Maybe more perks and everything will come. Maybe this is the perk of being a co-founder.
It truly is. So you were also featured amongst 40 under 40 at Fortune India. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was like obviously recognition. Any kind of recognitions makes you happy, but then it was a humbling experience to be in that category of people who was like truly changing lives. It was an inspiring event. So the government, the CM of Karnataka was there to felicitate, and there were a lot of dignitaries from the government. There were like, the most amazing part was the group of entrepreneurs who were like recognized, and the kind of work that they were doing. Just to be in that August gathering was like a learning experience. It was, and I have been in touch with some of the people that I met over there, and like just interacting with them, how they approach things, how are they like, many of them were managing businesses which are far bigger than what we have at Insurance Samadhan. But just to know how actually there is a method to the madness, what we see, the kind of structure that they have their lives, and I still try to get in touch with them, rack their brains just to understand how they are taking the challenges which are like the next level. And maybe tomorrow when we graduate to next level, which is like a given, the kind of stuff that we are doing, maybe I can like take some lessons from them and learn from them. So if I just have to put it in a single word, it was a learning and a humbling experience, and yeah, it will stay with me.
Thank you so much for your time, and all the best for your future.
Pleasure interacting with you. Thank you.
So these were the co-founders of Insurance Samadhan, who've got a very interesting business idea wherein they're solving your problems. If you faced any problem related to insurance, getting reimbursement, getting that claim back, you know whom to contact now. And I'm sure their story has inspired you, and if you're an entrepreneur seeking to solve a problem, then this should be your sign from the universe to start something and get going. See you next time round. We'll be back with another interesting story. Goodbye for now.